Hey plant gang, one of a great cultivars of Burkwood Viburnum is Viburnum X burkwoodii Conoy, and that's this plant right behind me. It's a great compact viburnum for the home landscape. So here we have Viburnum X burkwoodii. The cultivar is Conoy, known as the Conoy Burkwood Viburnum. This is hardy from zones 5 through 8, gets about 4 to 5 foot high, can spread out 7 to 8 foot wide, so really wider in a lot of cases than it is tall. And so compared to regular Viburnum X burkwoodii, this is a pretty compact plant. It's got beautiful shiny leaves, which is one of its greatest attributes, the shiny green of leaves. It blooms in the spring with flat-topped umbel-like fragrant flowers that are quite nice and can completely cover this plant. When the flowers are closed, they have a pinkish hue to them, and then they open up to a primarily white flower. This is a great utility viburnum because it does stay primarily evergreen. And so it will keep its leaves throughout the winter time, which makes it a nice accent plant for the home landscape. So let's talk about ID characteristics. The stems, the foliage, everything is going to be covered in fine pubescence. I love in the sunlight, you can see that pubescence really kind of shimmering on the top of the leaf, a dark green leaf. Viburnum oppositely arranged on the stem, and so those are all things that you can use to identify this plant. The specific cultivar Conoy is an introduction of the U.S. National Arboretum in Washington, D.C., and again best noted for its compact spreading habit and glossy foliage. It's really a densely branched multi-stemmed shrub, and again size 4 or 5 foot wide, and can spread about 4 or 5 foot high, can spread out 7 to 8 foot wide. Now in cooler climates, it's probably going to lose quite a bit of its foliage in wintertime. In more southern climates, we're talking zone 7 and 8, it's going to be primarily evergreen. And so that's really going to be situationally dependent on whether this plant keeps most of its leaves throughout the wintertime. But I'm going to tell you, it's a knockout evergreen shrub in these warmer climates. The fruit is round and then turns kind of a blackish color in the later fall, and birds do enjoy those fruits. And here's a landscape tip. Plant as a specimen or in groups. Wonderful for the shrub border or as a large foundation planting. So here we got an update. Viburnum X burkwoodii Conoy is the cultivar here in full bloom. This is a smaller version of the Burkwood Viburnum. And here we have this full blooming shrub in a little bit of afternoon shade in particular, looking good, but just enough sun to really let it burst out and bloom. Fragrance, not overwhelming, but a beautiful bloom for the beginning of April. This is a great viburnum for the home landscape.